One more question.
Okay.
Your paper on this is a buzzword in cryptocurrency, and the
Mm,
Bitcoin maximalists, Bitcoin people use it a lot. This whole idea of layer 2 solutions, layer 2
mm,
scalability, and you wrote a paper, SOK, a taxonomy for layer 2 scalability. So, in terms, I know that for Cardano, it's supposed to be split into multiple layers. You have the computation layer and then the settlement layer, and apparently you can add layers on top of layers on Cardano infinitely to just to match whatever solutions, business solutions are required. So how what does layer 2 look like in Cardano, and is it analogous to layer 2 in a proof of work protocol like Bitcoin? Are they the same thing, or is this something completely different?
No, no, it's the same thing. That's the layer 2. This is an area that we are actually looking right now here at Tokyo Tech. We have a PhD student. And in fact, now we are recording in the morning here, but afternoon we have a seminar exactly to discuss part of this. But the layer 2 solution, it's an approach to try to do better in terms of scalability of because an example is because you guys know that there's the generation block. So there is this refresh uh, delay, right, on the generation of blocks. So it takes time to confirm a transaction, right? So an approach for in order to get more transactions is that you can establish this channel between two. You know, if you know that two users will transact a lot, you already know. You could establish a channel between them, and then you do this transaction off chain. So if you're gonna do it on chain, every transaction had to wait for the confirmation time, right? And within this channel, you do it instantaneously. You do directly without waiting for the chain to confirm. So this is one approach, which it's part of this layer 2 idea of solutions, because layer 1 will be the consensus layer, so the blockchain. Layer 0 will be like you get some improvement on the network level. So you do like a better performance network, like try to make it synchronized all the time. So you make more like faster connections between miners, this kind of thing. This will be the layer 0. Layer 1 is the consensus protocol, so you improve the on the speed of the generation of blocks. For example, on Bitcoin, you have like average 10 minutes, but on Cardano, I think it's like 20 seconds. I don't remember the time slot.
Yeah.
So you could do like adjustments on that. So that will be layer 1. In layer 2, you do this kind of structures. For example, payment channels like Lightning Network, for
Okay.
example. Then that will be the layer 2, and actually the whole area, because once you start thinking about channels, you can concatenate channels with channels in order to make a network. And once you have the network, you have to think about how you route among all those channels. So there's several, and okay, if you want to add privacy, for example, so it's another way of thinking. So that's a vast area to do research.
So, in your paper, you also were talking about TEEs, or trusted executable environments, and
Mm-hmm.
Intel SGX. So, is that a combination? And those apparently boosted up the transactions per second to it ranged up to 2,500 transactions per second, around that number. So, is that a layer 2 privacy solution, or is that just a
Yes.
layer 2 solution?
Now the privacy solution, yes, because one approach using this trusted hardware is that you can make sure that you are running the proper protocol. So because you authenticate with this trusted hardware, that you are running the proper code. You're not running like suspicious protocol or a protocol that will deviate of the regular protocol at a certain point. So when you are dealing with somebody else, I mean, you are part of this channel, and you have this guarantee through hardware that your partner is performing the right protocol, and you of course you show that you are also performing the right protocol. Then you are aware that okay, we're doing the right thing, we're doing the secure way. So
Okay.
you're so this is one idea of how to use. There is a protocol called TCHAN, like TE for like trusted environment execution, right? TEE. Okay. So there's a protocol. And I think the idea is like that. So it's a more general in that case because it's for any protocol, right? You put the code of your protocol in your hardware, and your partner put over there in their hardware. Then they securely talk to each other and say, okay, we are in the correct protocol. So we go. So that idea would work for any protocol, but in particular, in this scenario, it would work as well.
Okay.
I wonder what kind of advantage that provides by having trusted hardware doing it. Is there a specific advantage? Like, is it a better guaranteed? Is it more reliable?
Yeah, well, yes. The short answer is yes. Okay. Because, for example, and like connecting to the beginning of our talk, the provable security, right? This actually increases the number of hypotheses in your analysis. So when you are explicitly mentioned that you have a hardware, a specific design for security, what you are actually saying in theory is that the adversary cannot read anything, for example, some randomness, internal randomness that you have, or it cannot have access to any part of your secret key because you have this special hardware. So we are making sure that that there is no leakage of information. There's a whole area of cryptography called leakage cryptography, which deals exactly with the opposite. So when you have a hardware and you are explicitly mentioned that the adversary can have a sample of some internal information, for example, some bits of the randomness or some bits of the secret key, then you see, in the beginning we mentioned you have a more powerful adversary. This is a way to make the adversary more powerful. You give more information, right? So this is it's another hypothesis. And there's a whole area called leakage cryptography. And this kind of attack, when you can probe the equipment to extract some extra information, it's called side channel attacks. It's a class of attacks called side channel. And so you can, for example, read around the computer. You have a computer doing some computation, and you can kind of read the electromagnetic field around it, and then kind of infer internal bits of computation. Or power supply, you can measure the power supply and then sometimes leak information as well. Mm-hmm. So all these kinds of attack are called side channel attacks.
Okay. And there's
when you have this kind of hardware, you'll prevent this.
Okay. Because there's weird ones that came out recently in the news, like the Spectre and the Meltdown attack on the Intel processors. Yes. Okay. And that's like, they didn't anticipate that. But a trusted hardware, you can prevent those kind of things from occurring because exactly what the hardware is going to do. You won't have this side channel available.
Yeah. In the case of this Meltdown, and I don't remember the other one, that's kind of making a fuss around because these actually are related to the special hardware of the Intel. And I remember that is still, I'm not sure about the current status right now, but last crypto conference, not this year, the last year, the cryptographers were kind of angry about that, claiming that, okay, we cannot trust Intel anymore. So there was this kind of sentences in the air. But that actually, if I remember, the attacks, they kind of, they make the processor, an attacker will have access to different part of the memory which it should not. Okay. And so I think that's actually the end result of those attacks. But I'm not quite sure of the details. But it deals with the trusted hardware. That's why cryptographers were really, really angry with that. And security people as well, not only cryptographers. Let's be honest. Mm-hmm.